Daniel here for Tabletop for One. Please join me at the table as I teach and play through SpaceShipped. And I thank you for joining me for this tutorial and solo playthrough of SpaceShipped. This is designed by Lucas Gentry and published by Button Shy Games. And this is the first Button Shy game that I'm featuring on the channel. Now this is my own copy I purchased for myself. Now in SpaceShipped you are buying and selling resources, encountering marauders and pirates, and upgrading your ship and doing all sorts of things with the goal of gaining 2 Xeno Crystals into your cargo in order to win the game. Let's go ahead and go into setup here. Now you need your money tracker here. I'll place it at the bottom. And then you need the 3 starting cards that have the star in the upper corner here. One of them is your ship. Place the ship right here, and this is going to track your health, your shields, and your hull. And then you'll have a crew member, which you'll place on the money card. I have the money card on the wrong side there. It'll be on this side. We start off with $3 million. Now you can go down to negative $2 million, and I'll explain what happens if you try to go down further than that. As for tracking your shielding, you have this basic shielding card here, and it starts at 1 shield, and that's the max shield you can have for this type of shielding. And then you'll place your Marauder right about here. It'll be in the start position with the 4 facing up. And then you're going to shuffle all these cards here, the remaining 13 cards, and you're going to be dealing these out. Now you deal right to left according to the rules. And first you're going to deal 3 down here to what is the encounter row here. And then the next 3 are going to go right here with the equipment side up, or the upgrade side up, and these are the green ones at the top. And then the rest of these here will get dealt into the resource row with their resource side facing up, just like that. Alright, so in SpaceShipped, like I said before, you're going to be trying to gain 2 of the Xeno Crystals, that's these ones here, to your cargo hold. They cost 20 mega credits each. So you're going to want to save up a bit of money for them. Meanwhile, the Marauders are going to be trying to gain them as well. And I'll explain how that works in just a minute. Let me talk about the flow of the game here. So on each turn, you're going to do an orbital counter, which gives you kind of this little event here from the left card in the encounter row. And then you'll do a planet side encounter from the second card. And then you'll go to a market phase with the marketplace as reflected on the third card. This will show the value of the different resources. During the market phase, you're also able to buy upgrades. Now the encounters themselves are pretty straightforward. You just do what they say. Like this one says receive 2 points of damage. This one says repair up to 2 points of damage, hull and shields. This one ends the turn immediately and skips the planet side encounter and market phase and all that stuff. So those are pretty straightforward. But let's talk about what happens at the end of the turn is what's called a card shift. So when a card shift happens, you're going to take the rightmost encounter card, you'll flip it over to its upgrade side and put it in the upgrade row. Then you will take the rightmost resource card, flip it over into its encounter card and place it right here. And then you'll also take the rightmost upgrade card, flip it to its resource side and place it at the far left on the resource row. So that's how that all works. So it has kind of like this cyclical nature to how the turns work. Now one thing to know is that the 2 cards on the left here in the encounter, they become your second and third card in the sequence for the next turn. So you're going to know that this event here, this planet side encounter, will happen the next turn, as well as these will be the prices of the market for the next turn, or even these will be the prices for the market 2 turns from now. So a lot of what happens about this game surrounds the marketplace and the buying and selling of goods, because you are going to want to buy low and sell high. As you can see here, the different goods are outlined. We have asteroids, spare parts, liquid fuel, and pluranium. And these are the different values here, 1, 5, 5, and 5. But they change. So the next turn, it'll be 1, 3, 7, and 6. And the third turn, it'll be 1, 5, 7, and 5. So as you can see right now, it's rather beneficial to buy liquid fuel, because if I buy liquid fuel this turn at 5, I can sell it the next turn at 7 with the 2 mega credit profit. But there's other things you may want to buy, and those are upgraded ships, like this one here. This is a new ship that has a higher cargo space, and it also has one more point of hull than I currently have in my ship. I have a max hull of 3. This one has a max hull of 4. If I was damaged, let's say I was down to 2 hull on my current ship and I bought the new ship, I would actually increase this all the way up to full on the hull, but even more if I have shield. It would just go to my max shield, which my current max shield, as it says here, is 1. And so that's a good thing to do when you're trying to repair ships, is sometimes it's just better to upgrade. And so that's an option. Now, some of the other cards are what we call equipment cards. And equipment cards are the same as a shield card. But when you buy these cards here, you're going to swap it out with whatever equipment card you have. Same with the ship as well. Any of these equipment cards that you buy from the upgrade, these will get shifted down and your old one will go into that slot on the left. So that's how that works. Now, this particular piece of equipment lets you employ 2 crew members at the same time instead of 1. And so that brings up another point. You have crew members, but you can only have 1 unless you have a card like that. But there are other crew members that you can get, and they do various things. This one produces 2 million starting on the turn after hiring, and it's during the market phase. And this one repairs 1 free hull or shield, and then you can pay 1 mega credit to repeat once, and that's during the market phase as well. Now, these have some higher costs, 6 and 8, but those can be very beneficial. So you have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of ways to upgrade the ship. And just so you can see here, our current crew member, he just has the ability to repair 1 hull or 1 shield for 1 mega credit during the market phase, and you can only do that once. All right, so we're talking about how does the Marauder win? So the Marauder wins by gaining Xeno Crystals. And the way it gains Xeno Crystals is every time a Xeno Crystal goes to the end here on the right, gets flipped over to be used as an encounter card, we rotate this card counterclockwise once. So it counts down, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, once it gets to 1, and then it spins again, because of a Xeno Crystal coming off of that resource row, then he gains that Xeno Crystal and it goes under his card. And once he has 2, he wins. The other way to lose is to go down to 0 hull with your ship. So you have to be careful with your ship. But if we get those 2 Xeno Crystals first, then we will win the game. And so we're ready to start. So the first thing you do is you do an orbital encounter. So this one says electrical storms interfere with your shielding. Your shield receives 2 points of damage. Well, that's unfortunate. Now, I only have 1 shield, so I'm actually going to only lose 1, basically. So it drops it down to the 3 hull there. So I have no shields left. Then we go on to the planet side encounter in the middle here. And the planet side encounter says a micro black hole appears in your cargo hold, lose 1 resource. Well, we don't have any resources, so we're okay. So we go on to the third card here and look at the marketplace. And so we can buy resources right now if we'd like. The liquid fuel definitely looks good, but it's going to use up all my money. So let's talk about money here for just a moment. See, I'm at 3. Now I can go to -2. That's okay. But if I go below -2, then I will take a whole point of damage as the money lenders damage my ship. A couple shots across the bow, basically, because I took too much money. So I could buy one right now, and maybe I should risk it. Yeah, let's do it. We'll bring it down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 2, or -2, but I gain a liquid fuel. Again, the cost for that is shown here, and it's 5. So I'll gain that to my cargo hold. I only have 2 spaces in my cargo hold, but I only need 1 space right now. So that is going to do for me. I can't really do anything else. So now we're going to do the card shift. So first we'll flip this over to its upgrade side. Then we'll take this far right upgrade card, flip it over to its resource side, and then we'll take this one here and flip it over to its encounter side and put it on the far left of the encounter row. Now, this will always end with 3 upgrade cards. So if for whatever reason I may have bought 2 upgrade cards, then you'll have to flip over 2 of these to fill in that space. And then of course bring more resource cards down here to make this have 3 as well. All right, we are ready to go on to the next turn now. And oh boy, this is not good. So the Marauders are on the hunt for resources, and I have to receive 3 points of damage or lose 1 liquid fuel or 1 pluranium. Well, I do have 1 pluranium, and if I take 3 points of damage right now, I lose the game. So that's not good. So I will lose the 1 liquid fuel. That is really unfortunate because we really needed it. And so this might be a short voyage here because there's nothing else I can do this turn. This next encounter here says I may repair any hull or shield damage for 1 mega credit per point of damage. I don't have any money, so that's just not going to happen. So I can't do anything in the marketplace. At least nothing worth risking. Like, I could take a point of damage to gain an asteroid, but I don't think it's worth it. So we're going to go on to the next card shift here. Flipping this over to the upgrade. Flipping this over to the resource here. And then bringing this one down to the encounter, and we're ready for the next turn. And things just get tougher and tougher. So it says lose 2 mega credits or receive 2 points of damage. All right, well, I'm down to 1 left. And then the next one here says I can hire an available crew member for 2 mega credits less than their cost. Well, I still don't have enough money, and I still can't buy anything. So we're moving on. This is really not looking good. Maybe I didn't shuffle these the best way. I'm not sure, but I'm just not in a good place right now. So let's see what happens. Well, things are turning up a little bit. So this card says gain the leftmost resource in the resource row. Well, that's awesome. It's a liquid fuel. All right, so I get that back after all. The next one here says I can buy any 1 resource for 3 mega credits. Well, I don't have any, so that's not going to happen. Now, it just so happens that liquid fuel only costs 6 mega credits, and I can sell it for 6. So I will sell this. That's going to bring me back up to 4 mega credits. And I can't really afford anything else. Now, I do have the ability of my rookie crew to spend 1 mega credit to heal 1 hull, and I definitely want to do that, bringing me back up to 2. But other than that, that's going to end my turn. Flipping this over, moving these down. This one comes up here, and this one down here, and we're ready to go. Now, I honestly thought the game was over right here. So this one here says receive 2 points of damage to gain a pluranium. And now I thought I had to receive the 2 points of damage. I just looked it up, and it's one of the few encounters that you actually have an option. And so I don't have to receive that 2 points of damage, which is good because I can't afford it right now. I did also notice I forgot to turn this card because one of the Xeno Crystals did move into the orbital encounter area. All right, so we're moving on to the planet side encounter, and it says I may not purchase any new ship or equipment this turn. And that's okay, I don't think I was planning on it. And so next we have our resource options here. And so let's see, we got asteroids at 2, spare parts at 3, but also the liquid fuel might be worth it as well. I want to get 1 of these. I think I will get the liquid fuel because if I hold on to it for 2 turns, it's going to be worth twice as much as I'm paying for it. So that's what I'm going to take. I'll take a liquid fuel. It's going to cost me 3 and bring this down. And now I'm thinking I should repair my hull, but I don't have any money. I could go into debt. I don't know that it's worth it right now. I think I'll leave it. Although looking at my next planet side encounters, lose 1 mega credit or receive 1 point of damage. So that's going to happen. I guess I could just lose 1 mega credit. All right, so we'll move everything down, flip this over, bring this one down here, and this one becomes a resource. All right, here we go. Okay, so the orbital encounter says all resources cost 1 more to purchase and 1 less to sell during the market phase. Well, that's not helpful. And so I lose 1 or receive 1 point of damage. So I will lose the 1. Now I have the choice to make right now. But now I have a choice. Do I want to sell the liquid fuel I have for 3 mega credits And the reason why I may want to do that, again, it's 3 because it's a -1 now due to this event here. But the reason why I may want to do that is the next turn I'll have the option of being able to go to full shields and a hull for 2 mega credits. So that might be worth it. You know what? I'm going to wait. I've invested in this liquid fuel. I want to make the most profit. So I am going to spend 1 more mega credit, bringing me down to -2, to repair my hull for 1 because of my crew member. So that's what I'm going to do for this turn. We'll move everything down, flip this over, bring this one up, this one down, and now we're ready for the next turn. Now this was another Xeno Crystal here, so this is going to get rotated. And so we're 25% of the way to losing. Okay, so this orbital encounter says gain 1 mega credit, so that's great. It says you may repair your ship to a full hull and shields for a total of 2 mega credits. Now if I take 1 and then take a damage to gain 1 more, now I have 2 and I spend it to bring it up there. I don't know if that was worth it. Maybe it really wasn't. But let's just go on. We are going to sell that liquid fuel now. That liquid fuel is now worth 6 mega credits. I'm just hanging on by the skin of my teeth here, bringing me up to 4 mega credits. Still not much to work with. Now I do want to look ahead here. I'm going to take 2 points of damage the next turn, and maybe more depending on what the orbital event is on this card. I'm tempted though to buy a pluranium. It'll bring me down to -1. Like I said, I'm running real risky right now. But then next turn I'll be able to sell it for 7. So that'll be a profit of 2. So let's do that. We'll buy that pluranium and let's see if it's worth it. All right, so move everything down again, flipping this over, bring this resource up, and this encounter card down. Hopefully it's a good encounter this time. Oh no, receive 2 points of damage or lose 1 spare part. Well, at least I healed up. You know, it could be worse, except that it is worse. And I received 2 more points of damage. And that destroys my ship. Now, unfortunately, with this particular situation, there was just no way that I was going to win. Maybe I should have done something different, but I just didn't have enough hull to withstand 4 points of damage in 1 turn. Maybe if I had bought this, you know, when it was an upgrade, you may ignore any planetary encounters if you do, skipping the market phase. Maybe I should have bought that, but I don't know. That would have been nice to have, but I don't know if I still would have won. And so there you have it. That was the tutorial and solo playthrough. It's a rather quick playthrough. Sorry, I lost early. I did hang on there for a little while, so that wasn't too bad. But this is beatable. It seems like it's a little difficult, but I beat the last game. And I beat it before the Marauder even took a Xeno Crystal. I had some good plays, some good buying and selling of resources and other things that made it work in the end. So feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, I have a link in the description, and I thank everyone who has supported me thus far. And I thank you very much for joining me on Tabletop for One. Have a great night.